SRGBV is another global war. SRGBV is another global war. We want to learn, but there are many challenges.
A girl who is staying with her extended family members was raped 3 times by who happens to be members of the family. The teacher identified something strange about this learner, who then reported the matter to the social worker. The case is still going on.
Colleagues, the issue is that we are in school to protect the student. The school environment has to be safe for both boys and girls, such that we can really transmit or educate them as we are supposed to do.
We don't get that side of the story. Teachers as change makers, creating space for safety, for security, for learning.
SRGBV is another global war. SRGBV is another global war. We want to learn, but there are many challenges.
For education unions and for educators to view themselves as part of the solution, because they're right there in the classroom, right? They're witnessing what's happened. As you mentioned, sometimes they're perpetrating it, but also they can be victims of it. So it's very much an issue that they can work on in a very concrete way in the classroom with the students, through their pedagogical approaches, through what's in the curriculum, through creating an atmosphere in schools that really emphasizes the need for safety and security, because you can't have quality education if nobody is safe in the environment.
That if we didn't put teachers at the heart of this work, we were not going to get anywhere. Also, within unions, talking to unions, it was a safe learning environment. It was not one of punishment or pointing fingers, and it was more likely to get some traction, providing an opportunity for teachers to speak to each other about an issue of their own, which they care deeply about.
So these general secretaries, when they stepped forward to start working on SRGBV, their understanding of an issue that in most of their unions they'd been working on for many, many years, all of a sudden a click happened and they saw a broader picture and saw that in terms of the sustainability of the union, the professional status, the issues around teachers being role models and examples for their students.
And conducted a session on hearing stories, which change team met with Uganda National Teachers Union staff and National Executive Committee. From there, a resolution was made to integrate the fight against school-related gender-based violence within the activities of the union. We have integrated it in our social dialogue meetings, in our in-service training for the teachers, in our Teachers Action for Girls, in our membership education training workshops.
The teacher unions took an initiative to do a baseline study. Teacher unions have formed pilot schools. These are the schools in which they are sensitizing the learners and the teachers, together with the school administration, on the dangers of school-related gender-based violence and the need to eradicate it.
Based on the survey, we've come up with a tool to measure violence. This tool is known as School Violence Index. This School Violence Index has 4 dimensions. Student group, teachers group, and the management group sit down and evaluate the status of their school. Then, having measured the status, they share this one with the school community around, and then they share among, and they join in hands to reduce violence, and this has really helped in reducing violence.
A teacher was spotted having carnal knowledge with a learner by other learners So the learners, because they were aware and well sensitized, they took up the matter and reported to the authorities. As a result, the teacher right now has been suspended and is awaiting disciplinary measures.
But this girl was giving out hand in marriage. When the girl knew about it, she ran to the regional chairperson. When they got the news, they stopped the marriage instantly. The girl was allowed to continue school. This girl was saved.
These children also will serve as role models in the school. They will talk to their colleagues in the school. They will try to spread the message, and in very short time they will be able to change the attitude and behavior of children. For example, in my own school, the formation of the school club has gone a long way to eradicate violence between the boys and the girls, and now they have become ambassadors of peace and good behavior to other schools within the environment.
The teacher unions have also come up with a notice board program whereby any school-related gender-based violence action that is spotted should be posted on the notice board of the school so that everyone can know about it. So that is actually helping the culprits or the perpetrators to stop, because they feel ashamed of being advertised on the notice board.
The challenge is to disseminate information to our people.
Social media we have taken by storm, and the reason for this is that every child and every educator who's on social media, be it WhatsApp, be it Twitter, be it Facebook, has access to our message and all the activities around it.
It is not fair for learners to be subjected to many processes. As a result, as unions in the country, whilst we are fighting against gender-based violence in schools, we signed a collective agreement that tends to take 3 processes in one and subject learners to at least one process where they'll give testimony only once instead of 3 times as it was the case previously. It's fair because in many instances, if we talk about abuse generally, the victim is always subjected to secondary trauma. So we feel this one will at least assist the learners not to relive the moment many times. It will only be once, and the evidence can be used in all processes.
Also, the issue about stressing on code of ethics of the unions and of course of the whole teaching fraternity is also really, really exciting.
For a long time, the union was run by males. All the officials were males. And so the women aspirants who decided to vie for any position was viewed as a competitor, as a negative competitor. And so what the men will do would be to spread bad rumors, negative rumors about them. These are idle people, lazy, immoral, people who cannot achieve any academic success, and so they kept the women away. And so the women's union needs were never being addressed. So the women came together and put up a strategy. They decided to go through the women heads of departments and women with positions of management and shared with them. And so they came up with a strategy which we call at our local chapter Sister to Sister. In fact, we even have a WhatsApp group that we refer to as Women of Substance. So once we identified them, we decided to rally behind these women. The advantage we had was that most of the teachers at the university are women, and today we have more women sitting in various positions of leadership.
So we really thought this could be a real game changer in terms of the global dialogue around school-related gender-based violence, and also a real opportunity for teachers to share between each other new skills, new approaches of how to get at this, how to make sense of this issue in their schools and in their unions, in their lives, and really launch something important.
I would say This is a successful story in terms of the work that the teacher unions have done, because the sensitization has borne fruits, has borne results. The learners are able to report, and the teachers also are able to take action. The school authorities and the education authorities are able to take action against teachers that are getting involved in school-related gender-based violence.
We heard of the enormous scope that in every union something was happening, and that what was happening was touching significant numbers of people. Capital city, at the national level, at the regional level, at the local level, there were hundreds and maybe thousands of people who were being touched by this through the outreach of the unions, through the sensitization, through the creation of brochures, radio programs, teacher training, talking to each other about their policies. It was way bigger than we had any idea.
All of that became tied up in the work around school-related gender-based violence. So I've really been struck by just how deep we've been able to go.
I feel we're making progress. This is what made me so proud.
I'm fulfilled to say, really, I made a difference in the life of an African child, an African man, and African woman.
Yeah, we're happy.
I am more empowered and re-energized.
We are not just pushing women, but we are pushing capable women. And when they take up those positions that they never had before, it's bringing more women into unionism.
Let's create better schools where girls will find peace and learn and become leaders of tomorrow.
Speak up, report to the relevant authorities. We shall support you, our students, our colleagues.